what to do, where to stay, helpful tips for traveling around Oahu's North Shore with prices coming up. And if you're new here, aloha! I'm Christine with Where in the World is Seattle, and I make travel videos every week to help you get up, get out, and go travel. So if you like to travel, consider subscribing. Let's start with what there is to do. Seeing the big waves on the North Shore is a must, but you're only going to see big waves depending on the time of year in which you're there. So the thing to note is that October through April is when the big swells are there, and December through February is when you'll see the biggest waves. And if you're there during that time, it will obviously be more crowded because there will be a lot of surfers, but going to Bonsai Pipeline is the spot to go to watch the big waves and the amazing surfers in the water. But if you're looking for a beach where you can just go and chill, get in the water, hang out, there are obviously a lot of popular beaches on the North Shore for that. But if you're looking for something a little bit more secluded, a tip that I loved was going to the northeast side of the island and checking out beaches like Pounders or Hukilau, which aren't as crowded as the other North Shore beaches. Here's a great one to do if you like to hike and you want beautiful views. I really enjoyed the Ehukai hike. I did it with my family, and it brings you up to beautiful views. One tip for this hike is it dries out a lot toward the top, but prior to that, if it's been raining at all, it's muddy. Another one that we considered but didn't do is the waterfalls hike. It does have an admission fee of about $20 per person, but that's something to consider. Link in the description below. And if you're getting some value out of this video, cheers that like button and consider subscribing. And if you have tips about the North Shore, drop them in the comments because we're all a community here. Another one that can't be missed, go to Sharks Cove and get in the water. It's a really awesome spot because the water in Sharks Cove is secluded, but it has a point in which water is coming in from the ocean and pushing the fish in. So it's a great place to get in the water and snorkel. I could go on for a long time, so make sure you check the description below for the full list of things that I consider doing or I've done in previous trips. But if I could give you just two more, especially if you like adventure, consider skydiving on the North Shore, as well as going to Climeworks if you like to zip line and you want a little bit of adventure. One helpful thing to know about prices is that when you're visiting all these beaches on the North Shore, the parking is free, but depending on the season and depending on how many people are there, I could totally imagine parking getting very, very filled up. Because I'm here in March 2021, it was a lot emptier than it normally is, given tourism is down on this island. So I didn't have that much of a problem with parking, but one thing to know, it's free, but there might not be a lot of it. All right, let's talk about food because there's a lot of good food on the North Shore, and you can't miss going to the trucks. There's so many shrimp trucks, so many popular shrimp trucks, but I tried Fumi's and I totally enjoyed it. A shrimp plate will run you about $14 and it is so delicious and you can't really miss it. A couple other trucks that I really loved, Mike's Huli Chicken, which will run you $13 for a whole chicken, and I also loved Rye's Poke Shack. So one helpful tip to know about the North Shore is that there aren't a lot of restaurants where you can have a sit-down meal at. There are places in Haleiwa, such as the Haleiwa Beach House, but they don't take reservations. So I was traveling with a family of 6, so we ended up driving all the way back to Honolulu to have a sit-down dinner. But if you're considering staying at a house, for example, there is a Foodland up there that isn't nearly as stocked as the ones in Honolulu, but you can buy groceries out there and then cook at your place that you're staying. Ooh, and if you're looking for produce or just looking for fruit and freshly cut fruit, make sure you stop at the fruit stands. Kahuku Farms is a great one to stop at. And once you've had something good to eat, maybe you should have some sweets. You can't miss going to Matsumoto Shave Ice. The line can be really long, but you can get really delicious shave ice for just $3 for a small. Guava and pineapple. Let's talk about a few helpful tips, and then let's jump to some tips around where to stay in the North Shore. One of the other things to know about getting around, aside from parking potentially being really tough, is that you really do need a car on the North Shore. It's not really an option to take a taxi up there and do Ubers. While it's not impossible, I highly recommend you make sure you have a car if you're going to visit the North Shore. And as you're driving around, another tip to know is that there's just one road, and so if there is traffic, it can get pretty backed up, but just something to keep in mind. Another helpful tip is that water shoes are kind of a must on the North Shore. There's a lot of really sharp rocks and you want to protect your feet. So make sure you're wearing water shoes or some kind of sandal that straps to your feet. And another thing to know is that on Sundays, a lot of things can be closed. So make sure you're planning in advance and checking the hours of places you want to visit. So you're not like me and my family driving around unable to find somewhere to eat on a Sunday. And please be sure to add your tips in the comments below so that it can help me as well on my next trip to the North Shore. Let's talk about places to stay and my tips around accommodations. I think one thing to note in general is that the supply is kind of low on the North Shore and the demand can be really high as it compares to Waikiki, Honolulu. And so here are 3 examples of places that I've stayed. On this trip, I booked an Airbnb that was a single, just okay looking bedroom with a shared bathroom, and before taxes, it was $120 per night. That's not very good value in my opinion. We also booked an Airbnb that was a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom, and there was no air conditioning. It was on the water with a nice view and had parking, but it was $360 before taxes as well. Again, not super affordable, but for the North Shore, not too bad. In the past, back in 2017, I have stayed at Turtle Bay Resort. Please comment below if you've stayed there recently. My experience, and I'm just being honest here, I just remember it being very tired and very exorbitantly priced. So that's just my experience trying to help you out. Please add your comments below because we're all a community. Oh, and here's a helpful tip if you're looking for cheaper accommodations. Consider going during the summer when it's lower season and you don't have to worry about competing with all of the surfers who are trying to find accommodations there in the winter with the big waves. So that could be a way of saving money. All right, if you've made it this far in the video, I have a secret for you. There's a video that I'm making that I love this island, but there are things about it that I didn't really expect, and there are some things I didn't really love that I want to share with you my experiences so that you can plan the best and smartest trip possible. But I'm not going to make this available to everyone, I don't think. So if you want to see it, link in the description below, and I'll send it to you because I got you. Cheers that like button if you haven't already. I'm here every week with new videos, and I'll see ya in the next one. Ciao.